Good morning, students. Once again, we are here with the Geography Chapter 3 Drainage of Class 9. Till now, we studied about the drainage system. We also talked about the drainage basin. We talked about the water divide. We also talked about that the Indian river system or the river system in India is divided into two major parts, that is the perennial river and the peninsular river. We already talked about that the perennial rivers are those rivers which are having the water throughout the year and they are getting the water from snow as well as from rain. Whereas if we talk about the peninsular river, they totally depend on the rainwater. Today we will talk about the peninsular river. As we know that India is subcontinent and the three sides of the India is surrounded by the water bodies. So we know that India is being termed as the peninsular India. The main water divide in peninsular India is formed by the Western Ghats, which runs from north to south close to the western coast. Most of the major rivers of the peninsula, such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri, flow towards eastwards and drain into the Bay of Bengal. These rivers make deltas at the mouth. There are numerous small streams flowing west of the Western Ghats. The Narmada and the Tapi are the only long river which flows west and make estuaries. The drainage basins of the peninsular river are comparatively small in size. So the Narmada and Tapi river, they forms the estuary. The estuary means the wide part or mouth of the river where it joins the sea. Means where the river is joining the sea, it becomes larger area. The large part which appears like a mouth of a river, that they are called the estuaries. Here you have a look of Narmada river. The Narmada river in the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh, it flows towards the west in a rift valley formed due to faulting. So here the question arises, what do you mean by rift valley? The rift valley is a low land between several highlands or mountain ranges. That is the earth tectonic plates movement where they move apart, means they are moving apart from each other. It basically happens near the tectonic plates. So they are the highlands, the lowlands between the several highlands or the mountain ranges. They are called the rift valleys. Rift valleys are formed due to the faulting, and faulting means the fracture in rock. On its way to the sea, the Narmada creates many picturesque locations. The marble rocks near Jabalpur, where the Narmada flows through a deep gorge, and the Dhuadhar Falls. Gorges means a narrow valley with steep sides and a river running through it. Means it is a narrow valley. It is a valley. It is narrow in size, means not very wide, but with the steep sides, and the river is running through it. And the Dhuadhar Falls are in Madhya Pradesh, where the river plunges over steep rocks are some of the notable ones. Plunges are found near they are found at the bottom of the waterfall, right? So over the steep rocks are some of the notable ones. At the tributaries of the Narmada are very short, and most of these join the main stream at the right angles, means they are joining the main stream at the right angle. So the Narmada basin covers parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Narmada river basically covers the parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. So by this you can see that as the Narmada is a peninsular river, so they are not having much water. They totally depend on the rain. Here you can see the Narmada river. Now we will talk about the Tapi river. Shall we start now? The Tapi river in the Satpura ranges in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. It also flows in the Rift Valley parallel to the Narmada, but it is much shorter in length, means that length is short. What here the question arises is, what do you mean by the Rift Valley? A rift valley is a linear shaped lowland between several highlands or the mountain ranges, means the trenches. Its basin covers parts of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Means the basin of this river covers the Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. The coastal plains between Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea are very narrow. Narrow means not very wide. Hence the coastal rivers are short. The main west flowing rivers are Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpucha, Periyar are the major west flowing rivers. Now here we will talk about the river Godavari. As you can see, it's very large in area. The Godavari is the largest peninsular river. It rises from the slopes of the Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. Means there the origin point of the river Godavari is the slopes of Western Ghats. Its length is about 1500 km. It drains into the Bay of Bengal. Its drainage basin is also largest among the peninsular rivers. The basin covers parts of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa and Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by the number of tributaries such as Urha, the Vardha, the Prantita, Mangira and the Vainaganga and the Painganga. The last three tributaries are very large because of its length and the area cover. It is also known as the Dakshin Ganga because it is the larger in size, so it is being termed as the Dakshin Ganga. Here is a look of the Mahanadi river. As again you can see that it is not as much water as the rest of the perennial rivers are having, that is Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. Mahanadi river rises in the highlands of the Chhattisgarh. It flows through the Orissa to reach the Bay of Bengal. It is flowing through the Orissa. The length of the river is about 860 kilometers and the drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Orissa. Means it passes through the Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and the Orissa. The next peninsular river is the Krishna river. Here you can see the Krishna river. Rising from a spring near Mahabaleshwar, the Krishna flows for about 1400 km and reaches the Bay of Bengal. The Tungabhadra, the Koyna, the Ghat Prabha, the Masi and Bhima are some of its tributaries. The drainage basin is shared by Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Means they are passing through the Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So this is the another important river of peninsular India. Means they are being termed as the peninsular rivers because they totally depend on the rain water. Here is a look for the Kaveri river. Shall we start about the Kaveri now? The Kaveri rises in the Brahmagiri range of the Western Ghats and it reaches the Bay of Bengal in south of Kodalur in Tamil Nadu. The total length of the river is about 760 km. Its main tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati and Kapini. Its basin drains parts of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. By this we have finished the chapter. Now we have to recall the difference between the peninsular and the perennial river. Let's recall. Let's have a quick look between the comparison of Himalayan rivers and peninsular river. The rivers originate from the glaciers, whereas the peninsular rivers originate from the plateaus. Catchment area is very large of Himalayan rivers or the perennial rivers, whereas the peninsular rivers catchment area is very small. Their perennial rivers or the Himalayan rivers are engaged in high erosion activity, whereas the peninsular rivers are having the low erosion activity. Perennial rivers are useful in irrigation and they are not very useful in irrigation. We are talking about the peninsular river. So the examples, they are perennial, which the Himalayan rivers are perennial. They are perennial because they are having the water throughout the year, and whereas the example of Himalayan rivers are Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, and peninsular rivers are non-perennial, and the examples are Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, etc. By this we have finished a chapter. I hope you liked it. Thank you and have a nice day.